Hi guys, it's Carol and thank you for stopping by for this is now my monthly stitching update. I really never had an intent to stretch these videos out this long. I just have not been good about sitting down and filming. And then when I do film it, I'm not good at sitting down and editing and uploading. So at the time that I'm sitting here right now on March 27th, my February update video is not yet posted online. I've been in sort of editing for like 3 weeks. Which is a nice way of saying my program's been open. I haven't done anything with it. Like, it's so dumb for me to say that. Like, I really should just sit down and do it, but I've not been doing a great job of that recently. So it's every day I faithfully put it in my planner, edit video. Every day I move it to the next day. I'll get there. But on the plus side, I actually have changed a little bit on how I'm doing my cross stitch planning, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with that. A couple weeks ago, I was at my L&S, and my L&S is not all that far away from me, although it's from my old house. My old house, my L&S was 5 minutes away. Like, I drove by it all the time. It was on the way to the post office, it was on the way to the grocery store, it was on the way to the pet store. I mean, it was on the way to everywhere. And now I have to make like a concerted effort, and it's not terribly convenient to where I am. It's fine. Mostly I've been not going because I've been trying to avoid buying things. When I go in there, I love to buy all of the things because they have so many pretties. Like, I don't know, I love cross stitching, I love being in there, I love the inspiration they have on the walls. And so I'm not good at that. So if I don't go in there, and by the way, I'm much more restrained online. Probably doesn't sound like that if you'll notice, like last year when I went on a kit buying binge off eBay, but online I usually have a little bit more of a, am I sure I want to do this? When I am in a store, all bets are off. I'm gonna have a pile that's gonna be sitting at the register, and I'm happily handing over a credit card. So, but I did went in there, and I was absolutely delighted because this was at the beginning of March, and they had some clearance stuff in the back. They don't usually have clearance stuff around, least that I've ever noticed. But in this case, I'm gonna start with the Book of Days for Needlework Enthusiasts for 2023. Now, what's really funny about this had ended up in my shopping cart online from, I think 123 Stitch at one point. I mean, I saw it on Instagram. Okay, so there's a lot of, I saw it on Instagram, so then I want to buy it because Instagram makes me want to buy things, but fortunately I don't like to buy things on my phone, so I don't. But anyway, so I had seen this and looked at it and then just couldn't justify it. And if you remember, I said, okay, I don't need like a particular calendar. I'm just creating one in one of my journals, and I was tracking. I realized actually literally creating a monthly spread is a pain in the neck. You know what? You know what's the best part about this? My monthly spread is already made for it. And look how big these squares are. There's a ton of room to write. So, obviously I got this in March, so, although I don't have anything in February, but I have been like writing up a storm in here. Like, so I make a point of making what are my weekly focus. I have my goals up here. What do I intend to get done? Like this, and every day I'm opening this up and writing what I have accomplished on any given day. So I know which pieces I have been touching for this entire month. It is so awesome. I love it. I actually should, you know what, honestly, I should have gone ahead and bought this full price at the end of last year so that I was ready to go January 1. So lesson learned for next year. I am absolutely like, this is adorable. This is from Needlework Press. It's just, I mean, I guess that I could get, like, there's some specific stuff, like there's like a pattern on the back, and there's some alphabets in here and some grid. I mean, there's stuff that's crafting exclusive. I mean, I guess I probably could get a cheap calendar, but I like the fact that this is in fact like a full-size booklet. I personally am just a fan of like the artwork. It is something that is cross-stitch only, but it's not just that it's like me trying to track how much I've gotten done in my projects. It is literally, this is what I'm doing. So really cute, really glad I found it. And it has been really, really helpful. Like, I don't stitch without it now. I had told myself before I went into my L&S that if they had Mirabilia's Nightingale, I was going to get that. But if they didn't, I wasn't going to buy anything. Well, once the Book of Days ended up in my hands, and I was like, well, I knew I was going to buy it. Turned around, and Anna Oman, 1873, was on one of the turning rack. I don't even know what you call those turning racks. Anyway, this is on my 1, 2, 3 stitch wish list, and I keep putting it in a cart, taking it out, putting it in, taking it out, and I have been in love with this pattern for a while. I mean, actually, I first saw it on Instagram. I think I saw it last year, and I don't remember, it might have been longer. At one point, in order to find it, I actually went digging through all my old Instagram likes, which I was like, it was really helpful, but I don't remember. The copyright on this is from 2020, so I don't know if I saw it in 2020 or in 2022. Don't remember. What I do know is that at least sometime in 2022, when I was in my LNS, I said, I don't remember the name of the pattern, didn't remember the designer, I remembered nothing. But it was this one that I knew that I had in my mind and that I wanted to buy. They didn't have it in at the time, but they had it when I was there a couple weeks ago. So did I buy it? Of course I did. I don't know why I have really started feeling drawn towards samplers. I think I made like a prior point on videos that I do not consider myself a sampler stitcher, and I still don't, but I love a lot of the look. Like when they're, I guess it's I'm picky about them. I don't want to just do endless alphabets over and over. So like what I really am drawn here is that not just that we have the alphabet, but we also have this bird motif, this like botanicals. There's something interesting going on here above and beyond looking at an alphabet. So it's really pretty. It is meant for you to do it in Classic Colorworks used brick, and the model is stitched on Star Hollows Blend from R&R Reproductions, which is a really pretty fabric. So guess what? I'm probably gonna do mine on Star Hollows Blend when I get around to buying it, but I was just excited to be able to buy this in person. Now, continuing the reproduction sampler theme, this is also on the clearance rack, so I got it at a slight discount. It is Heartstring Samplery, the HF 1837 sampler, and again, this one I was drawn to because of the motif here. There's also a Hands Across the Sea sampler that has like a big like eagle or something in the middle. I don't know. Those are the things that I am drawn to. So like, if you'll see, like when I buy samplers that I kind of keep going back for these same looks, I know what I like and I go with it. The other thing that I really loved about this is actually the Jesus and Mary here. I don't necessarily do a lot of religious stitching, but I myself actually am a pretty religious person. So I don't know, it's just sometimes I like to be able to have, you know, my faith right here in my stitching. A much more modern take on a sampler is Long Dog Sampler's Moulin Rouge. I have looked at this one. This also falls in my off and on. It is not one of my, let's say, it's not my favorite. In my household, if like my kids will say, it's not my favorite. Well, what do you mean? Is it like poop or is it like cheesecake? And cheesecake, it's like that thing, it's always awesome, but it's not their absolute favoriteest thing in the world, but it's like a really close second. Or is it like, you know, stepping in dog poop? Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, so here I am saying it's not my favorite, and these are the things that I like fussing my kids about. Anyway, so this one really, it's like, it's not my first favorite Long Dog sampler. It's not even my second favorite, but it's probably like my fourth favorite. So I just felt like getting it. It's really pretty. I do like the fact that it is a square pattern, just to change up a little bit, because I've been doing a lot of rectangles, but I don't know, it's pretty. So I got it. And then, and other designers that I apparently collect as well, Modern Folk Embroidery. This is the Little Bird Quaker sampler. I love the aesthetic of all of these. I was browsed, actually, for no real reason at all, was totally on the Modern Folk Embroidery website earlier today, trying to figure out if there were more patterns that I needed to buy because they're not in my collection. Like, I have a problem. I love all of these too much. Yeah. But I mean, other than that, I'd actually say that I've been pretty good about not just randomly buying stuff. I do not keep a fabric stash. I mean, I have ended up with a fabric stash by accident from whereby I've bought things with intent to start projects that I just haven't even really finished kitty dumping got started with yet. But I try not to buy things just to buy things, but patterns are like my one weakness, because I oftentimes feel like if I pass it up now, I never know when I'm going to get the opportunity later. And the answer is there's always other fabulous patterns to buy later, but why should I limit myself? Because I can only stitch so much in a lifetime. That's probably a good reason, but you know what? No limits here. So that's all the haul that I have for right now. Thankfully, I have not felt the need to buy anything else recently. Let's go ahead and just check in on my whips. First up, Heaven and Earth Designs, Mini, interior of Tin Turn Abbey. Here's where it was last time. And here we are today. As you can see, I'm now third row, page 1, complete. You know, my sister, by the way, she is like almost done with page 2. I want to catch up. It's so pretty. I'm not going to catch up. I got too many projects going on. She's got like 2. I have 21. Yeah, that's okay. Anyway, this is mostly sky, although I think you can see more of the clouds as they're developing, and the top of one of the arches is actually only like 2 rows down from where I am. It's pretty exciting. So most of this is actually, there's not many colors. Like it was more confetti up here, more bigger sections down here, and I don't know, it's going well. That's what I'll say. I am doing this on an 18 count 2/1. The Ada, it's antique white. I think it's antique white, not ivory, but I don't remember right now. And they look the same to me. Like if I don't have the, I mean, if you have ivory and antique white next to each other, you can tell the difference between the two. But if I just pick up a random piece of what I consider a basic, boring, light cream color, I'm never gonna remember. But yeah, really enjoying this one, and having done the math, I am a whopping 4% complete on this project. Ooh. Next up, I actually had left this to not pick up until a little late the 25th, which is the Feast of the Annunciation. And so this is what I spent the weekend working on. Here's where I was last time. And here's where we are today. Obviously I've been adding, this is the top border, so I thought I left myself a full 3 inches. When I measured it out, it's like 2 3/4. I don't know how I miscut my piece. Because I'm gonna say that I took this off of something else. But anyway, it's progressing along, and we now have the E, because it's gonna say Ave Maria, so we have the E for Ave, and well, we now have, Mary has almost her entire name. This right here is actually the bottom of the I. This is 2/2 on a 36 count white linen. I don't think there's really a lot to say about it. This is my one that I hope to get done by the end of September. So for now, I'm just trying to remember to like pull it out every so often so that I don't fall hugely behind. It is 12% done by my calculations, and I figure what's really going to happen is you're going to see this a lot this summer as I really buckle down to get it done. Speaking of projects that need to get done, Heartstring Samplers Coffee Quaker. Here's where it was last time. And here's where it is today. So I'm at 75% done. I have 5 days, because my deadline is Friday. This will get done because it's going to be the only thing I work on this week until it's complete. Good thing though, I'm at the stage now where it's actually hard for me to put down. I have been wanting to pick this up. I've also been wanting to pick up like 5 other projects at the same time, and you can only stitch on one thing. I only have 2 hands, and they can only work on one project at a time. So that's something I gotta work on. But anyway, this is pretty, I mean, like, this is the upper right-hand corner. Like, it's really, we have one more part left, and just there's some stuff right here. I am loving, absolutely loving this project. I had said that I wasn't sure about how this mocha looked over here, and then I don't remember what color this is off the top of my head, whatever. oh, I think it's maple syrup. When I put in my initial in the maple syrup, it made the mocha color that I'd always thought was a little too red for everything, like pinkish red, wasn't really working. And then, oh, boom, no, it fits in great with the rest. The reason I say is like, because this color and this have kind of orange tones, not so much pink as that base. And I was like worried, how did it fit in? Because everything seemed to have kind of this orange gradient. And then I'm just like, oh no, this is all looking amazing. I am absolutely in love with this piece. I am also ready to be done with it because I want it up in my kitchen. I have IKEA from a couple years ago. Let's say a couple years ago, about like 6 years ago. Had these things that are supposed to be like gelato and then a coffee thing. Well, anyway, they've been sitting up in my kitchen and it's like all in Italian and it's kind of super cheesy. I mean, dude, it's from IKEA. But anyway, I want to put this up next to the coffee list because I love coffee and I think it would be great. So this is one of these that I'm actually really like, I can take a while to fully finish projects. Like when I say a while, I mean years, but I really want to have this one up this year because again, I think it would look fantastic. So I've been making the effort to really stay on top of the things that I expected to get done this year. So I mentioned Ave Maria is the one I'm trying to get done at the end of the third quarter. Obviously Coffee Quaker I'm hoping to get done this week. Well, to make sure that I'm not falling behind on everything I intend to get done this year. Next up is Modern Folk Embroidery's The Fruit of Plenty. I'm still working in the March card. I was really overly enthusiastic on like my belief on how fast I could get through March when I talked about it in my last video, because I'm still not done with March. Oops. Here's where it was last time. And here we are today. Now I will say March is coming along really nicely all the way over to the edge here. Like it is now merely a question of filling down. Like it is kind of cool to get to see the full width of this project, and it's not often that because I spend so much time like kind of focused on like what I'm actually stitching, it's like nice to stand back and go like, oh wow, this one's coming along and it is absolutely gorgeous. Like this is awesome. I love this project. I mean, it's bigger than when I started it last year. I really did not anticipate exactly how big of a project it was going to be as far as like stitching intensity. Whatever, it's amazing. Like I almost want to be like, if you can only stitch one sampler style pattern ever, do this one. Like that is how much I love it. Again, I am not I'm hoping to be mostly done with March by the end of the week, but Coffee Quaker's gotta come first. But it's mostly as I want to just stay on track because, again, if I want to have this done in December, I really do need to be keeping up with each of the month cards as they go along or getting ahead. Like that would be really helpful. Don't know if I'll be able to do that, but it is, I mean, it is going to look so nicely. I love the colors. I love how dense it is, the use of negative space through here, the main matches over here. It's just amazing. I love it. Like this one is also one that I'm actually just super excited to get done. Okay, and by the way, if I want to impress people, because I drag my cross stitching with me like everywhere. This is the one that people will like. They'll say the other stuff, they'll be like, oh, it's nice. This makes people who don't even know what you're doing. They're like barely understand that you can take a thread and needle and make stuff, and they'll look at this and go, that is amazing. Then they'll all ask if I came up with it myself, and I'm like, no, I'm totally following a pattern, but whatever. They're still like, oh, it's so awesome. This one, like I said, it truly is a showstopper. I love it. Highly recommend. I'm also trying to remember to tell you what all this is because I mean, I know I've mentioned it before. This is 3808 and 3810 on white 40 count vertical even weave. And yeah, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, you've seen the 3 of my 4 plans finishes for the year, so you know that you're going to get to see number 4. Obviously none of these are finished yet, but you know, whatever. Mirabilia Designs, Autumn Queen. Here's where it was last time. And here's where it is now. As you can see, we're like really making, like, we're gonna be there June 30th is not going to be an issue for getting this one done. I've even been tackling like the amount of whisper that I've put in here and over here. The entire project is actually 71% done by the way that I have it counted. And like a lot of these ones where it's considered not done, it's like the beading through here. The beading is not as extensive as some of the other memorabilia designs I've worked on. So I don't think it'll take a huge amount of time to like do like this ribbon here that she's holding. Honestly, for me, the long part really is doing all the whisper. So I've filled in a bunch over here. I need to put in the back stitching. Like I realize it is hard to see here and over here exactly how much I've done, just because the whisper does kind of blend in a little bit to the white fabric this is on. And yeah, so I still haven't done any of her actual hand, but as you can see, I mean, her sleeve is, like I said, this is done. I have like a little bit more of the teal colors. The dark stuff, basically this area of her sleeve up here, and then what's in her hair, but I'm almost done with those. It's finishing off this big cloak. There's like some, a tassel over here, but I am really impressed. Like this one is coming along. This thing's huge now. Feeling like I didn't realize it until I was like time to like sit and be like, hey guys, look at it. But I am just really, really thrilled with how this has been going. The more I stitch on her, the more I love her. Like, I don't know, it's something about like putting in the petite treasure braid that I'm using. Like I love how sparkly it is, and I haven't even put beads in yet. Like that's the cool part. It's sparkly right now just with the metallic threads. It's, yeah, kind of sad this one's out of print. Actually, Summer Queen just went out of print too. Really sad about that. So the only one of like the original 4 season queens that you can get is Winter Queen, which was the very first one. Go figure. But yeah, like if you can get a hold of these, oh, they're so worth it. They're just, I don't know, I love the use of color. I really, really appreciate the artist eye that Nora Cormett brings to these designs. Like, oh, they're spectacular. So unexpected for me, I decided that I wanted to actually do some beading. I don't love beading, but I do love the effect of beading. I guess I'll qualify that. It's one of those, I consider beading a necessary evil to get the cool bead effect in the end. And I didn't really want to do it on Autumn Queen, so I decided that I had a spot here on the Stargazer that I could definitely work on. So here's where she was last time. And here's where she is now. I think I actually did a little bit of stitching down here as well compared to last time. I'm also like having to kind of guess here. But the big thing, I decided it was totally, since all the stitching, like all the DMC down to here is 100% complete, I decided that I could go ahead and start working on this beading above her head, just because otherwise like there's all this empty space and I'm like, oh, but a beading takes longer than you think it's going to. It always does. But also I was just like, oh, you know what? I have them, they're sitting around. I want to see what this looks like. And the one thing that I just have to say that I almost regret, I love the fabric that I picked for this. These beads right here, I don't know that you can see them in the camera. They're not even all that easy to see in person, but if you turn, like you move around the fabric, then they catch and they're just like, so like right now they're really, for me, visually, I see all the sparkle of this line right here, or this swirl. But if I stare at it like straight on, it almost fades into the background. So it's like, I don't know, I just kind of love that cool changing effect. And I don't know that there's like, so there's really any way I can replicate it for filming purposes. So this is where I almost have to just say, trust me, it looks really cool. Really, really cool. I don't know. I think this is great. After Autumn Queen gets done, this one's probably going to be the memorabilia that I'm looking to finish. Haven't decided 100% yet, but it is something for me to think about. And then last, I did decide that, you know, full coverage pieces don't stitch themselves. I've been working on mini interior tinter and Abbey. It's because it's on an 18 count, it's easy, you feel like you're getting somewhere with it, but I decided that, you know what, for the end of winter, I'm going to go back and pull out my full-size Hade, and that is Winter Kissed. Artist is Adele Sessler, and here's where I was last time. And this is where it is right now. By the way, like halfway across the fabric is like right here. I have it totally doubled over. This is going to be a huge piece when it's done. But anyway, I'm on page 3 and I have completed these top squares. I've been using the typewriter method. It is something I've really enjoyed. It is interesting because I don't do typewriter across the entire pattern, I just do it across the page. Then you see how it almost, because you just can't go any further right or left, you end up coming down a little more on the sides, which means that the center part is a little less filled in. It's just a quirk. I don't know why it works out that way, but this one is, I think I mentioned before, I'm not sure that I will ever actually finish this project. I hope I do, just because I do like to finish things, but it's so big. All of this, and it's 4% of the entire project, and I mean there's a ton of hours of work just in this alone. I started it in 2017. I don't know, it's the funny thing is, like, as I fill things in, I'm like, oh, this is really pretty, I should spend more time on it, but because there's so much stitching for so little progress, I don't get like that feedback. So I don't know, I'm glad I pulled it out. And I keep saying, hey, I'm not going to take, you know, years at a time to do a single page. There's 49 pages. So if I take 3 years a page, I won't definitely never finish. But it's like this one I started in October, and I would like to get it done one of these days. But again, if I don't prioritize it, it's not going to get there. And that's, I mean, I guess that's the other reason why I have made an effort to say, hey, I'm going to have finishes this year, precisely so that I can actually put in the time for like all my projects. Because again, I can buy patterns way faster than I can stitch them up, and I don't know that I want to do that. I want to be better. I know, what a downer to finish on, right? For me to say, oh man, I want to, like, but there's so many beautiful things out there. So like, there's so much fabulous stitching, and honestly, all the designers that are working today, like, I love so many of them, and they will design faster than I can stitch them up. So it's like I've been doing the picking and choosing and really trying to stay within like my favorites. So hence, like, this, I only have the 2 Heaven and Earth designs. Like, I know there are people who love full coverage and do tons and tons of full coverage. I can't do that, so I choose to prioritize a lot of my stitching time elsewhere. But you know, this one's cool though when I get a chance to pull it out, so go figure. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. I'm not even going to pretend that I'll do this in less than a month. If you see a video posted after this one in less than a month span, I have done really well. Because, I don't know. But next time, Coffee Quaker will be done. So you totally have to be back for that. And I hope that you have a great week in stitching, great month in stitching, a great however extended amount of time this is going to be. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye.